Good Friday morning to you. The day after Christmas. I hope that you've had a great Christmas day. If it's anything like the Pierce household, Christmas just is a time that really is more like a week than a day. We continue to see family and friends really up until next week. So I hope you're having a great time, and I hope you're also celebrating with me through these Bible studies. I'd like to go back to Matthew chapter 2 this morning and revisit some of the verses that I kind of skipped over yesterday because I wanted to get to the gift-giving part, thinking it was appropriate for Christmas. Picking up in Matthew chapter 2, verse 7, Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, Go and search diligently for the child. And when you have found him, bring me word, that I too may come and worship him. After listening to the king, they went on their way, and behold, the star that they had seen when it rose went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their own country by another way. Now I wanted to go back over these verses for a few reasons. First of all, we see the deception of Herod here. And I think it's important for us to recognize that there is deception. Just because somebody says that they want to worship Jesus, just because they give that appearance that Jesus is very important to them, doesn't necessarily make it so. It's important to be discerning in our spirit about what someone else says about our Savior King. Secondly, from just a historical standpoint, I think it's very important that we address the issue of the star. We haven't really talked much about this. Many people have speculated that the star was some type of alignment of planets or perhaps a comet going across the sky, and trying to find a physical explanation that would be in the natural realm, not supernatural. But I have a very strong belief in looking at this that the star here is a metaphor. It really is something that is like a star, not necessarily a star itself. It's just the best way to explain it. Because clearly here we see that before there was the star, and that the wise men had followed it to the west. Basically the star, they were from the east, but they were following the star going from Babylonia over to Jerusalem, which for them would have been in the direction of west. But then the star apparently had disappeared, or it wasn't there, because here we see in verse 10 that when they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And it actually went before them. In other words, they followed it to where Jesus was, and that it stayed over Jesus. This might very well have been a very supernatural act, a Shekinah glory of Christ that we see later on exhibited when Jesus is on the mountaintop. We certainly saw it in the case of Moses in the Old Testament. So it certainly would not be beyond the realm of belief of what this star might have been. And then lastly, I want to talk about the fact that being warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their own country by another way. We need to consider what that might have looked like, because it's very unlikely that these wise men would have simply been on their own. To have departed via another way for just a few people would have been no big deal. But if these men were very wealthy and had a large caravan of supporters, which is likely, I mean, really, would Herod have been all that concerned if a few guys from the east had showed up in Jerusalem just asking questions? but he would have been very concerned if this incredibly wealthy contingent, very large group of people, had suddenly shown up to support these wise men who were going all around Jerusalem asking about where is this new king to be born. So for them to then discern the evilness of Herod and to find another way back home would have been no small feat for them. But here's the important thing. If God gives us instructions, if whether it be in a dream, if any other way, if we know that there is something that we are to do, he will provide a way for us to do it. I believe that with all my heart. I'm basing my entire future on the fact that God would not ask me something that he would not provide the means for. And what's true for me, and what was true for the wise men, is also true for you. Hope you have a great Friday today. I'll talk with you one more time this week, tomorrow morning. Have a great day.